Good morning. Good morning, guys. How are we? Everyone okay? Swizzling around. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Good morning. Hello. Hi, guys. Hi. Come on, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Are we all okay? Everyone all right? What are we up to today? Kettle's on. Well done, Rachel. Cheers to you. I have mine already, of course. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you. Yeah, we're good. Thank you, Mummy and Eloise. That's very kind of you. Yeah, we are fine. We are actually getting a bit excited because this evening, later today, we are going on our hollybobs. So, hence, this is going to be our last live for a week. Sorry, everybody. I think that's the dishwasher beeping at me. Attempted to get an 8-month-old to sleep, then it's ironing time. Oh, very good. I don't iron. I can't stand it. See, I'll give it a good shake and hang it up and see if they drop out. But well done for you for getting your ironing done. You're better than me. So I was just saying that we are going on a little holiday later today. So there's not going to be a live for about a week. However, I will make it up to you when we get back. So it's a little bit different today because I felt I really needed to talk to you guys about this. Look at me with my pencil in my hand. Because I'm getting lots and lots of questions. I'm getting lots of questions about travelling with a toddler, travelling with children. In which case, if that is you, if you are going to be travelling with children this summer, number one, I have the Journey playPROMPTS. They are a help for children over the age of 2. And also there is a video. I have recently done a video about travelling with young children. It's saved on the Facebook page. Good old Facebook. I love that they save them forever, unlike Instagram for 24 hours. So if you are travelling with a toddler this summer, please go and have a look on Facebook and see the video. And you'll get lots of ideas there of things that you can pack to keep them entertained and games that you can play and things. And then the second question I'm getting lots of queries about from not necessarily concerned parents, but parents wanting to start doing some things, thinking about preparing for their child starting school in September. And I know it is a massive, massive step. So that's what today's live is going to be all about. It's all about supporting your child for starting school in September because it is a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's a big deal for you and it's a big deal for your child as well. And I have, obviously I've not, my little boy is not starting school. I haven't been through it myself. However, I have been on the other end. I was the reception teacher that was greeting the nervous parents and the nervous children on that first morning in September. So I know it can be a really tricky time, but schools are really good at supporting you. So I've got some ideas today of things that you can do, a couple of activities, things that you can talk about, a couple of books as well. I've got a great long list, guys, on the back of an envelope. Professional as always, aren't I? Good morning. So if your child is starting school in September, I'm going to give you a 30-second warning. Go and get a pen and paper, and it might be worth just jotting some of the ideas down because I've got quite a lot to say. Funny that, isn't it? Me have a lot to say? No way. I do have to have a phone call at 10:30, so I have to be off the line before 10:30, guys. So that's our cut-off point today. So grab yourself, quick, go, grab yourself some sort of notepad and pencil or paper because I'm going to give you lots and lots of ideas. If you are one of those parents who has a little one starting school in September and you're looking for some ideas and some ways that you can prepare them and support them for starting school. So that's what we're going to talk about now. So while you're getting ready, I'm going to have a gulp of my tea and then we're going to get started because there is a lot. As she gulps it down. Okay, so I hope you're ready. Ready? Thumbs up. You ready? I'm just going to take it as you are. There's always a little bit of delay. Anybody ready? Little one starts in September, you're in denial. I know it's tough. I know it is. That's why if we do this, it's also a bit, it's quite handy for you as well. Yeah, ready to go. Good, super. Okay. Shuffle my papers like a newsreader. All right, so I get lots and lots of questions from parents wanting to support their child starting school in September. However, I think lots of parents presume that the best way to support their child is all the academic things, such as knowing their name, writing their numbers, all that sort of stuff. Actually, preparing your child for starting school in September is not about the academic things. It's not about quickly putting pressure on them to learn lots of things before starting schools in September. That's not really the best way to go about it. There are some things that you can do, however, there's much more of it's the preparation. You need to support them emotionally because, like we said, it is a big step, it is a big change, and they will probably be picking up on your anxieties, your nerves as well, because yeah, it is a big deal for all of us. So I'm going to go through the list of things that you can do. So first of all, like I'm saying about it's not just academic, it's really not. It's helpful, it is helpful if your child, it's not about writing their name, about it just being able to recognise their name. If they're starting to recognise their name, that can be really helpful just because they're going to be seeing it on coat pegs, on their names of their clothes, they're going to be seeing it on their book bags, on everything. And when children start school, it's all about supporting them to become that little bit more independent, and we're also encouraging them to be a little bit more, take a bit more responsibility for themselves and their items and their belongings. So by doing that, being able to recognise their name helps because their name's going to be in their jumper, and there's no doubt that all the jumpers are going to end up in a big pile on the playground, and they're going to have to sort through them at some point and find their jumper. And being able to recognise their name will really help with that. If they don't recognise their name, don't panic. It will come. It will come. The best way you can do that is maybe having a nice name on their bedroom door or somewhere in the house that they can make and decorate. So have a play around with their name, but it's not necessarily about being able to write their name. It's maybe even perhaps recognising the first letter of their name really helps as well. Oh, Rachel's saying that they've been given a handout from the school. That's brilliant. That's nice. Schools are really good, or they should be, really good at supporting children because a lot of people recognise what a big step it is. So hopefully you will have been given something to prepare your little ones. But I'll go on to that in a moment. So recognising names helps because of it being in names and clothes and things. Please, 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 could I ask, if your child is taking an interest in wanting to have a go at writing their name, which is great, please not in capital letters. Capital letter at the beginning and then the rest lowercase is really important, just because capitals are great for children to write because there's much straighter lines, they're a lot easier to write. However, the teachers then have to unteach all that. They have to unteach the bad habits when they start in September. Start with a capital letter and then the rest lowercase. So if you are doing it, that's great. And do it in, fingers in shaving foam. Do it in water. Do it with paintbrushes. Do it with chalks. Do it with, roll it out with Play-Doh. Do it in loads of different ways. Finding the magnetic letters on the fridge, that sort of thing. Not necessarily sat down writing their names, which you all know that by now, don't you? I've talked to you about it before. And then again, it's similar with their numbers. Just do, I wouldn't expect them to be able to sit down and write their numbers to 10. Let's not forget how young these children are, but just do lots and lots of songs, lots of counting when you're out and about. Oh, there's a bus, what number's on the bus? Looking at the numbers on the houses, just lots and lots of number chat again. Numbers around the house, pointing out that there's numbers on the oven, pointing out numbers are all around us, on clocks and things. Do lots of counting. Count when you march up the stairs, count when you go back down again, count while they're brushing their teeth. There's lots and lots of counting and singing with counting songs, stuff like that. You will know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, once I caught a fish alive, 5 little ducks went swimming one day, all that sort of stuff. Just loads of singing. Keep it fun, no pressure, lots and lots of fun. They can be really handy, but not essential. If they don't know them, that is absolutely fine. That is what school is for. They will learn them. They will come. It's all about making it enjoyable for them. Okay. And then, as I said, if you missed the beginning bit, I said it's not about just the it's not just about the academic side of starting school. There's also being able to, like I said, being able to take responsibility for themselves, for their well-being, and for their belongings. Okay, so if you think about, we're talking about, are your children able to dress themselves? If you could just ignore the comment on Instagram and we will report them later, it's fine. So being able to dress themselves is a really great skill, like their school shoes as well. Just have a little practice of putting your school shoes on, let them play with it. No doubt they're really excited about wearing them. So let them put their shoes on, have a little play, have a good play around. Can they put them on their feet? Can they put them on the right way round? Can they have a go at tying them, or if you've got Velcro and things like that? And the same if they've got jumpers, are they having a go at dressing themselves? Putting socks on, putting their pants on. If they've got a shirt, having a go at the buttons or a zip. It's just all that sort of stuff is really good practice, because there will be times when they do have to dress themselves with support, you know, we're talking about PE times and going to the toilet and things like that. But they will have to, they will need support with it. But it's really handy if you can do a bit of practicing at home as well. Make a bit of a game of it, pack your own little suitcase, can they get dressed in it? That sort of thing has always been really brilliant. So lots of getting dressed and that sort of practice. Okay, so then we're going to move on. I hope you're writing this down. Sorry, I'm going really fast. Okay, so also talking about taking care of their own well-being is being able to getting into the habit of eating independently. So if your child has been at a preschool or a nursery already, they may be into the habit of eating independently, unsupported. However, not all children have been, and some children may have been at home, and that's fine. But it's just making sure that your child is, I mean, let's not be silly, we're not expecting miracles. But just getting into that habit of eating independently, because they, you know, they will still be supported when they're at school. However, it won't be the same as mummy, daddy, grandparents, carers being there, you know, supporting them, keeping them going, that sort of thing. So it's just another little bit of just encourage them to having a go at things, having a go with cutlery as well. Cutlery is really important. I've talked to you before about these. Mine are dirty because they're on the side, but it's because they've been used. Nana's Manners, who was a teacher, designed this cutlery to support children, to teach them how, because you can hold them really well, teach them how to hold their knife and fork. So it's getting them in the habit of using these tools for holding cutlery. So these are Nana's Manners, they're brilliant. She was a teacher because she noticed so many children come to school not able to pick up a knife and fork and use them. So getting them in the habit of using those as well. And again, that when they finished eating, taking the plates by the kitchen, that sort of thing. Because if they are in a school, some schools will expect them to then take away their tray and clean their tray and things. So it's just getting them into those sorts of habits, really. So eating independently. And then another part of their well-being, I know it's early, but I'm sure you've all been up early, like me. Toileting as well, them getting into the habit of going to the toilet independently. And it's also about them, sorry so early guys, but being able to, you know, are they wiping their bottom independently by themselves? Of course, there will always be people at school to support them. I don't want to panic you. I'm very conscious of not panicking you. Schools are amazing and very supportive and will really see to the children's needs. However, just helps if your child is starting to wipe their bottom by themselves and washing their hands as well. Just making sure that they've got those habits and that they're doing it. Of course, you probably have to prompt them, as we all do, but encourage them to do it more and more. And it's about them taking responsibility and learning to do it every time they go to the toilet. So it's just another little one. So we've got the taking care of themselves, getting dressed, eating independently, toileting, that sort of thing. And then there's another little one that's, oh gosh, I've just forgotten it. Sorry, one moment. Yeah, another little one. It sounds like a silly one, but young children often don't quite link that when it's cold to put their coat on, and when it's hot, you know, when they're hot and sweaty, not all children think about taking their jumpers off. I know it's daft, and they will do it in reception. I used to spend all my time doing it. When it's really hot, they come in and go, oh, I'm really hot, I'm really hot. And it's like, okay, let's take your jumper off, because they don't necessarily make the link of taking the jumper off or having a drink of water. So particularly while it's hot and sunny at the moment, get them in that habit of, if you're feeling hot, go and have a drink of water. And it's just that sort of getting them into good habits, and it's all about taking care of themselves, taking responsibility for their own well-being, that sort of thing. Okay, so we've got being hot and cold, we've got getting dressed, being able to do their shoes, eating independently, toileting sort of independently, that sort of thing. Okay, and then there are some other things as well. So talking now and more about the sort of social aspects and the emotional parts of starting school is that, like we said, it can be a big deal. Some children may have some anxieties around certain aspects for it. So if you find that your child is repeating and asking lots of questions about one certain thing, it may be worth just sitting down and have a little chat and really unpicking what it is, because they may have just misunderstood something or can't quite get their head around something, or it's really causing them some concern. So the reason why I say that is I once years ago, had a little girl starting school with me, and what it was, the toilets in the school were blue, and her toilets at her nursery were yellow, so she didn't think that she was allowed to use the blue ones because they're not yellow. So it was a tiny thing that we had completely overlooked, but it's just worth unpicking, because she was talking about the blue toilets, and we couldn't quite get to the bottom. And then we got it, and she just got her wires crossed a little bit, and so it was really causing her concern, because then she wasn't sure where she had to go to the toilet. And it will be things like going to the toilet, about their eating, about their lunchtimes and things, that may be what's causing any anxiety. The thought of being on the playground with more children, those sorts of things can be quite scary for a young child. So hopefully you have been invited into the school to visit. I hope you've been able to visit the school and talk to the staff, and that your child's been able to go with you. And I'm hoping, not everybody, but that most schools often provide some sort of little booklet or something with photos of what the children are going to expect. When Mason started his preschool, he got a little picture of where the coats go, where the toilets are, and things like that. So hopefully you've had, not only have you had visits, you've had a little bit of something from them, which is really handy for you to sit and go through with your child several times before you start the school. And then you can talk about what happens if you want to go to the toilet, and what's happened, that sort of thing, can all be really helpful. And it's just about preparing them. And like I said, if your child's keeps repeating themselves or asking lots of questions about something, really try and sit and unpick it with them. Don't show them that you're concerned, but just try and, in a positive way, try and talk it through and see if you can get to the bottom of their understanding, because sometimes it can be like a misconception or something like that. So visits and pictures and anything like that can be brilliant. Lots and lots of talking about it. And then what also might help is drawing out a really simple timetable. You may either have some sort of countdown to them starting school, because they may have heard that they're starting in September, but that's quite a long way away for young children at the moment if you're talking about it now. So maybe you can have something to count down the weeks, or something that you could tick off so that they know when it's coming. It gives them a good idea of time. But also for the run of the day as well, so they know when you're going to be dropping them off. The kind of things that happen. It doesn't need to be an in-depth timetable like the school one, but just a rough idea that when you go in, they will sit on the carpet straight away, and then you'll have some snack, and then playing, and then lunchtime, and then once you're on the carpet again, this is when I come and collect you, that sort of thing. Having it drawn out as well can be really helpful. It's like a visual aid for children, and that sort of thing. And they may have them in school for you to use as well. So that's a good one to use. And then there are some, I hope this is useful, everybody. Just realise I'm talking. There are some lovely books that you can use with young children. I've only got one, but like I said, my little boy isn't starting school just yet. But I have, look, on my list, I have written them all down. There is Starting School by Janet Albert. That's a lovely one, and I used to do that in school. I also used to do Harry and the Dinosaurs Start School. That's really nice, because it's all about them starting and making their own coat pegs for their labels, and it's got lots of things in that they will probably be doing in those first few weeks of school. That's a really nice one. The Alfie books. Alfie book has, I think it's Alfie and the Big Boys or something like that. It's about starting school. Topsy and Tim starting school. There's also an Usborne one. Usborne have a collection of like first experiences, like first time going to the dentist, first time going to the doctor, all that sort of stuff. And there is one about starting school, and that's a really nice one too. I've not read this one, but I keep seeing it around everywhere. The Kiss in Hand. I don't know if anyone's seen The Kiss in Hand. Apparently it's a lovely story that shows, I think it's Hedgehog or something. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've not actually read it myself. It's all about teaching your child that even if you're not there, you're still thinking about them, you still love them, you're just apart for a little time. So while they're at school, you're still thinking of them, you're still with them, but that you will be returning later, that sort of thing. So that's quite a nice one, but I've not personally read that one, but I've just heard lots of lovely reviews about it. And then this is a book that I've got with Mason, which I will probably use for preparing him next year. This is an Usborne one as well. Doesn't say who it's written by, just says illustrated by Stephen Cartwright. Can't see it anywhere. Anyway, there's a dragon at my school. It's not necessarily about starting school, but it's about having a naughty little dragon, and he does lots of things. He messes up all the art cupboard, he eats everybody's lunch, and there's just lots of painting and things, and it's all that sort of the times of day that they'll regularly see in school. He's put the sand in the piano, in the sports hall, I think he's burst all the balls, that sort of thing. And it's just a nice one because you can't do that when you're at school, can you? You can't pour all the paint on, you can't eat everybody else's lunch when you're at school, you can't do that. So it's just quite a nice one, light-hearted, but it's not specifically about starting school, but it does cover toilets, going to the toilet as well, getting ready for the end of the day, putting our coats on. So it has got quite a lot of nice things in that one. I found this by accident, and that's quite nice. So there's a dragon at my school. I really like that one. Okay, are we all alright? We're still going? A couple more things and then we're done. And this will all be saved as well on Facebook and on stories if you do want to come back to it later. Okay, and then a few things that you can do as well before your child starts school. Sorry, I'm looking down a lot today. Lots of things, because of course suddenly they're going to be in a classroom with a lot more children than perhaps they're used to. So you're going to have to, perhaps you could play some games with them beforehand, particularly things that focus on sharing and taking turns. Now, you know, teachers aren't silly. We know that children for a long time, it's a real skill learning to share and to take it in turns. So don't worry, don't expect miracles. The teachers don't expect miracles either. But it's just handy getting them into that habit of that they're going to have to share the resources. They may have to wait their turn. There's not going to be a trike for every child in the class. There's not going to be enough items for everybody, and that they are going to have to wait for their go. Lots of sharing, taking turns, that sort of thing. Following instructions as well is also a big one. Does your child follow instructions? We all hope they do, but I'm not sure they do. So following instructions is another one, as well as following routines, understanding like the routine of the day and things like that. So all those sorts of things are quite useful, particularly to practice before they go to school. So playing just loads of different games, making sure they get lots of experience of it, particularly with the taking turns and sharing and stuff like that. Using sand time, a lot of early years places use sand timers to encourage children not only to visually see time, but also understand that, okay, you've got 1 more minute, turn over the sand timer, and then they'll sit and they'll watch that sand time until it's there, go on the trikes. Sand timers and things like that can be useful, particularly for young children when they're learning to take turns. So anything like that can be really great. And then also, there's a reason why I'm wafting around a pair of scissors. Also, perhaps the kind of things you could do over the summer are lots of fine motor skills. So we're talking about encouraging our children to do lots of little fiddly things with their hands. It's the muscles in the hands we need to strengthen, because eventually they will be going on to hold, I did it at the beginning. I've talked about name writing at the beginning. Don't worry. So we're talking about using fine motor skills, and it's all about holding a pencil. So it's what we call the pincer grip. So the thumb and finger is that pincer grip, and we're all about strengthening the hand muscles, and also for when they use tools and when they're using scissors. So perhaps you could do lots of things of lots of little fiddly bits. They might be doing some hammering, lots of Play-Doh, lots of picking up little things like peas or beads and threading and sewing, all that sort of stuff. Get them some scraps of paper and get them shredding pieces of paper, cut. Most at the moment, if you give him a piece of paper, he will just shred it. He'll just go for it. He just loves it. These are a really great pair of scissors to use if your child is still struggling to use scissors. I really like these because, as you can see, when you squeeze them together, because of this loop at the end, they bounce back open again. These you can get on Amazon for about £2–3, and they're just brilliant for children who are still struggling to use scissors, because it's the opening part of it that's sometimes tricky. So these actually bounce back open again, and they can use them with the first hand, or they can use it as a whole grip with the whole hand. So it just helps them learning to use scissors, and then they can then move on to the older ones, the toddler scissors and things like that. These are really great. However, I would mention that they're not like toddler scissors that only cut paper. They do cut everything, these. So they are still quite sharp blades. But they do make cutting so much easier for little ones. So might be worth, if your little one is still struggling with scissors. Lots of schools do have these, as well as the other ones, the opening and closing ones. So perhaps doing lots of scissors, lots of cutting and that sort of stuff could be really great too. And again, cutting up Play-Doh, rolls and sausages of Play-Doh are brilliant, so that's great. So yeah, look out for those if your little one, can you see the loop? If your little one is struggling with scissors, they could be a really good one. All right, and then finally, last one is just getting yourself into, if you've not already, or perhaps you've lost your way with it, I know what it's like with a busy life, just getting back into the habit of bedtime story. Bedtime story is a really lovely thing. Your school is no doubt going to be sending home. The scissors have a specific name. I'm pretty sure they do, and I can't remember. Sorry, All About Kids UK. I will, I think I might, do I have them linked on my Amazon? I'm not sure. I'll go and have a look and I'll get back to you if that's okay. I'll do a little post in stories. I'm sure they have a name. I'm sure they do, and I can't think of it, and there's nothing written on them. I'll get back to you, unless someone else on here might know, and they might mention it for me. Yeah, getting back into the habit of bedtime story is really lovely. The school will be sending home books, and it's just getting that your child into the habit of, we're trying to encourage that love of reading and getting into a bedtime story. It's a really nice way to end the day. It's getting into the habit of reading the books from their book bag, and it's also a nice time for you guys to have a little chat and particularly share their day, especially if they're going through lots of new experiences. I'm sure they'll have lots to share. I recently did a post, oh my goodness, it's 12:30, I'm gonna have to go. I recently did a post and people really enjoyed it, about talking to your child about how to talk to your child about their day. So I will post that on here later for you, so hopefully you might find it useful. Can you remind me of the name of the knife and fork you use, please? Yes, the knife and fork are called Nana's Manners. Nana's Manners. They are brilliant. They are on Instagram, and they're also in pretty much every shop around, John Lewis, loads of the early learning, those sorts of things. Nana's Manners are brilliant knives and forks. These, I will link these somewhere for you. I'll put them in stories so you can find them. They're really useful. And the books as well that I was talking about. Right, I must go because I'm late for my call now. I knew that had happened. I hope you found that useful. I do apologise about the comments that were coming up before on Instagram, so I will report those now. But thank you everybody for ignoring them, and thank you for joining in. I hope that's been helpful. It is saved in stories. It will also be saved on the Facebook page forever and ever, so you can go back and view it later. Hope that's given you lots of ideas. I'm hoping I've not missed anything, because there was a lot on my sheet, but I think I've mainly covered it. All right, thank you very much everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.